Hey, what's going on YouTube? So today I wanted to do my college football playoff predictions heading into week 9 of the 2015 season. So go ahead and start with my 4 outside. So at 4 I've got Michigan State, 3 Alabama, 2 TCU, and then 1 Baylor. So Baylor's going through a rough situation right now. Obviously, if you guys have been keeping up with the college football news, then you know that Seth Russell is now out for the season, which tremendously hurts Baylor, as he was one of the most effective, efficient, and just overall best quarterbacks in the country this season. I'm not anything against Jarrett Stidham. Like no one, I mean, obviously no one knows how he's going to play through a really tough November stretch that includes OU, Oklahoma State, and TCU, but it's hard to throw a freshman into that fire and expect them to win games that, obviously weren't guaranteed winnable games anyway. So, yeah, for now I've got them outside my top 4. So, TCU, now this is their chance. This is their opportunity. If they can actually start playing better on the road and, put games away that, they really should have earlier in the game, games like Texas Tech, Kansas State, and they're the favorites to win the conference, I think, as of right now. So for me, I don't know if that injury, it's weird, but if you got, like I said, if you guys have been keeping up with college football news, it puts the Big 12 in a tough spot. Alabama played a little too close to Tennessee. I think Tennessee's a good team. I do think that they're as talented really as anyone in the country. They just can't put it together. And Alabama, they did play really clutch. Derrick Henry proving, once again, that he's one of the best running backs in the country. Michigan State, same deal as Alabama, really. I just think that, the Big Ten North, it has enough talented teams to, have two of the top 5 teams in the country, but, it's hard to see. I honestly don't see it happening where 2 teams from the same division make it into the college football playoff. Like I said, Alabama, same deal. So moving into my college football playoff. So at number 4, I've got Notre Dame. So Notre Dame is pretty far back in the rankings this week for having them put in the college football playoff. But here's my reasoning for putting Notre Dame in the playoff, and that's just they've been really, really good this year. They fought through injuries. Their only loss is a road loss to a really, really good Clemson team, where they lost on a failed 2-point conversion in one of the worst conditions I've seen any team play in this year. So for right now, if they can get past Temple, obviously they still got a ridiculously hard schedule left over. They still have to get past Temple and even Stanford. So like I said, Notre Dame, if they can work through the rest of their schedule and win out, then I think they are in the college football playoff. So number 3, LSU. Really impressive victory against Western Kentucky for me. They were able to shut down a very, very good Western Kentucky offense, which shows that they are solid on both sides of the ball now. Brandon Harris, I wouldn't say has been coming into his own, but has been playing a lot better of late. And, I think LSU right now is the SEC favorite, and whoever wins the SEC I pretty much think is guaranteed in the playoff. So move on to number 2, Clemson. So Clemson just had an absolute beatdown of I wouldn't say a great Miami team, but a pretty good one. And, they pretty much got Al Golden fired. Just destroyed Miami. They've been playing unbelievably well as of late. If you guys saw my college football predictions for Week 9, though, I actually have them losing to NC State this weekend. I believe this is a huge, huge trap game for them this weekend before Florida State. NC State has a tendency to upset people in Raleigh. It's just what they do. I keep on bringing the scenario up of 2012 Florida State. And obviously Clemson's biggest game for the remainder of the schedule, maybe besides the ACC title game, is that Florida State game. And if they look past NC State, who is a pretty decent team this year, then I think that can go very poorly for Clemson. But for the time being, they're looking like one of the best teams in the country. And yeah, that's pretty much, I think they played as well as any team in the country this year. So move on to number 1, I've got Ohio State. So Ohio State looks like they finally put it together. Kind of did. I couldn't really tell if Cardale Jones a couple weeks in if it should have been Cardale Jones or JT Barrett, but I really did say at the beginning of the season it should have been JT Barrett the entire time, and I do still think it should have been. I knew that it was going to take a while, whoever quarterback they had starting, for them to get a rhythm and for the offense to start looking good again. It's just the quarterback style, the Cardale Jones and JT Barrett, their styles just vary so greatly for both being athletic quarterbacks. And it looks like they're finally that Ohio State team of old, and looks like they'll be able to go back to their dominant ways. And for me, like I said, until someone beats them, that Michigan State game's going to be huge, especially with Michigan State playing well now. But obviously, if Ohio State can win out, they'll be the number 1 seed. So yeah, that's my predictions for heading into Week 9 of the college football season. Hopefully, it's an interesting week this upcoming weekend, and maybe we'll see some shakeups inside the top 10. But yeah, that's pretty much it. See ya.